This is interesting. Minus 116s, minus 120s in the marketplace. We're seeing now minus 140s across the board and 6.5s on the total.
He's not a big strikeout pitcher. His metrics look terrible, but he somehow seemingly get 5 innings, 6 innings, only 1 earned run. It's because he's a super ground ball pitcher, induces that soft and medium contact. He can essentially sap the power away from the Dodgers.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What do you make of the season that Barkley had last year as he piled on the yards to get over 2,000, and what can that look like this year?
His year could have been much better with different circumstances here. So he was great. I assume he'll be great again. You want to take Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't have an issue with it, but, Barkley, you're going to lose the tush-push.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with 1 entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Big Fish is the best player in the WNBA. She is running away with the MVP award. Why is that? Caitlin Clark, injured. Asia Wilson, not playing at Asia Wilson level, but it's more about the fact about what's around her has been an issue. So to me, Fish is almost like the MVP because everyone else has gone down in some way, shape, or form.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Dude, that's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome to The Smylie Show, a bit of a bittersweet Smylie Show because Smylie, this is the Sunday Scaries. We are complete with all 4 majors in 2025, but you are over there in Northern Ireland, and it's time to cheers. I was a little jealous of you not having the Guinness on the show yesterday, but here we are. You have the proper Guinness glass. I have a little National Golf Leagues of America glass. No big deal. Cheers to you. Cheers to the major season of 2025. Let's take a little sip here. We got a long way till April.
Long way to April. All right. Here is part 2 of trying to split the G.
Let's see if we can split it. Let's split that G. It looks like he's learned a little something from yesterday's G split. Oh, I think he's gone too deep. Oh no, he's got it. Oh, it was a little light. That's quite all right.
Just short.
That's quite all right. Okay. I'll tell you what. I mean, this is not a promo here, but it goes down smoother. Guinness looks more menacing than it actually is. It's actually quite refreshing when you think about it.
It is. It should just basically be the H2O over here. It's that good.
It might practically be that. So there we go. It's a great cheers. It was a great major season. I mean, anytime you have a player that is drawing comparisons to Tiger Woods winning twice in a major season, capping off the season, Rory McIlroy completing that career Grand Slam, incredible. Also, JJ Spawn, amazing at Oakmont. It was a great one. Just to tee up today's conversation, we have to do so with the help of our friends at Ahead. Ahead is a strategic partner for enterprise clients, helping them navigate the path toward digital transformation, much like an expert caddy, reading the course ahead and providing the winning combination of technology and execution. You can learn more at ahead.com. We are going to be doing some looking ahead today. We're going to be talking about some Ryder Cup implications. We'll have an episode later this week where we're going to look ahead at the major season to come in 2026 and how this season sets up for what could happen with all these names that are in the mix, some that did not win majors this year that maybe we thought they were, and others who are now on a springboard to win more. But we, of course, have to start with the day that was for Scottie Scheffler. And Smylie, I have a few graphics here for you. This one was shared by golf.com entering the round, and it was the outright win odds heading into the day. And it was dire reading for most of the field. Scottie was at minus 700. And Rory, I was 6 or 7 shots back to start the day. I'm forgetting now, was 20-1 to win this tournament outright. And you know what? You could have bet the house. You could have bet 2 houses on Scottie to win, and you would have been just fine. Of course, goes on to win. Rory had a great quote you sent over after the round, after the third round on Sky Sports. We just asked about what it will be like trying to chase Scottie on Sunday, and where he arrived was Scottie is inevitable, and he was on Sunday. Some stats from the broadcast on NBC: Scottie becomes the 9th player to win the Masters, PGA Championship, and the Open Championship. He is the 31st player with 4 or more major wins. I have some great quotes from Rick Gehman at Rick Run Good on Twitter. So this was heading into the round, looking at the last 15 major championships. So there's now 16. You can add a claret jug next to Scottie's name. Scottie has won a quarter of all the major championships since 2022. He's won the Masters twice, the PGA Championship once, and now the Open Championship. And then another stat from Rick Gehman to sort of contextualize the fewest major starts to 4 wins and where Scottie stacks up on that list. Let's take a look at this one as well. He's in a pretty good spot. He's right there neck and neck with Rory McIlroy. Tiger Woods took 19 starts to do it. Arnold Palmer, Ben Hogan, 21. Jack Nicklaus, 21. But he's ahead of players like Seve, Tom Watson, Gary Player, Sam Snead, a whole host of names there. So we are going to get to some specific Tiger comparisons next. But just starting with a full reaction to maybe the day about Scottie, but this almost felt like a foregone conclusion. Just where Scottie stands in the annals of golf history and your mind after watching what he did this week at Royal Portrush.
Yes. Golly, where to even begin, right? It's just been phenomenal to be able to watch this in person. And I just go back to one of the first times that I watched Scottie Scheffler play. It's when I was caddying for one of my buddies, Stuart Jolly, at the U.S. Amateur at the Country Club. And Stuart got in very easily into match play. He was like the 8th seed, and there's a big playoff for who was going to, make the final 64. And they have this they had to go back and finish that morning. Bracket comes out after they finished the qualifier, and we drew Scottie Scheffler in the first round. And ever since that day, I watched him play. I said, God, he is unbelievable at golf, but it's so boring. It's so there's nothing just insane about it besides it just does the same thing over and over and over again. And I think what I continue to see from him, just when we're just talking about his golf game, there's plenty more, historical context that we can get into with Scottie Scheffler, but he is so good between the ears. The amount of times that he has had, just this week, for example, a 10-footer, a 12-footer, a 15-footer that he had to make, he made it. He made it every single time. How many times did you turn on the TV and have Scottie Scheffler have a moment that he was supposed to pull something off? It didn't pull it off. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Scottie Scheffler's just ability to show up exactly when he needs to, when it counts, and be able to pull off the shot every single time. And that's the non-human element of all of this, is that so many other players would have missed that putt on a day where they're not feeling it. But Scottie Scheffler finds a way to do it every single day.
Yeah, it's interesting because we talked all week long about his ability to minimize mistakes, do damage control, and the one double he makes today where he unsuccessfully tries to make it out of a fairway bunker.
Which when do we ever see him ever make a mistake? Ever? That was
and the
debatable.
thing about that. Well, the thing about that to me is that you were afforded the luxury to make a double when every single other shot and time throughout the week, you've been making the correct and smart decision and playing that sort of percentages game and just knowing, where you can take risks and where you can't, just managing your way around the golf course. And he did that better than anybody else out there this entire week.
The only thing I'll say to that is that I'm frustrated with Scottie is that I had the script before the day started. I said that second place was going to be at 13 under and that Scottie Scheffler was going to win by 7 at 20. And if he doesn't do that stupid stuff at the 8th hole, we would be staring, we would have Jackson would already have a clip posted. It's a shame. It's a shame. I thought I had this thing nailed coming into today. I thought he was going to win by 7.
I tell you what, I mean, there are a lot of other players we got to talk about because you were a little bit of a fax machine this week. You had Harris. We talked a little about Chris Gotterup. We're going to get to those guys later on. Great quote from Xander after the round today on Scottie. I don't think we thought the golfing world would see someone as dominant as Tiger come through so soon. And here's Scottie sort of taking that throne of dominance. You can't even say he's on a run. He's just been killing it for over 2 years now. He's a tough man to beat. And when you see his name up on the leaderboard, it sucks for us. I have some Tiger stats here. Before I get to that, because I thought this was interesting, sitting on the couch today watching with my wife and son, and they were talking about Tiger Woods stats on the broadcast, and she was just asking about, as someone who's not familiar with the minutia of golf, Scottie's path. And I think that may be hard for some people to wrap their heads around, where he was an elite amateur. He was an incredible player at Texas, but he wasn't someone who just, at the teenage level, like burst onto the scene. He went to the Korn Ferry Tour first, wins the Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year in 2019, immediately graduates to the PGA Tour, wins the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year in 2020. So to me, I think the thing for a lot of people with Scottie is, of course, he's not flashy, and of course, he doesn't embrace the limelight like many others have. But there was almost this like stage and sort of healthy growth that wasn't like mediocre, was always elite, but just a little bit more under the radar than, the expectancy you might have for the next version of Tiger Woods.
Your approach with Marion Hampton is, if you're going to draft him aggressively and early, you better be patient, because it might take half a season before he really takes over this backfield, and it might never happen this year, depending on how Harris performs. Gadsden and Disley so far not fantasy relevant at this time. Again, a more run-heavy offense. Hampton and Najee Harris, very intriguing, but the ADP, I think, on both of them is slightly off.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Big Fish is the best player in the WNBA. She is running away with the MVP award. Why is that? Caitlin Clark injured. Asia Wilson not playing at Asia Wilson level, but it's more about the fact about what's around her has been an issue. So to me, Fish is almost like the MVP because everyone else has like gone down in some way, shape, or form.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I think he's on easily the back 9 of his career at this point. A lot of fans I see on social media saying, we got to sign this guy. We got to sign this guy. Something left here with Noah Fant? What gives?
I think they were ready to move on from him as a veteran, but I think Fant is like a number 2 tight end for a contender who can play a lot. I think that would interest me, and I've almost been looking around trying to find a good landing spot for him, and I've settled on, what if he were to go back to the Broncos and sort of back up Evan Ingram?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, totally. It's hard not to imagine that we're in the middle, or maybe even not the middle of a run that could be something that we talk about, for a very long time. This could be one of the, the greatest careers in golf that we're getting to witness in person. At least that's what we have to assume at this point when we have data to compare to Tiger Woods. Maybe we'll never touch that Tiger 2000 type of numbers, but there's going to be nobody that's even close to where Tiger and Scottie are at, and when we can measure, at least in the data measuring era. But it's remarkable. He sets the standard. He sets the bar. Guys know when they see him on the leaderboard that they have to be just about perfect, because they know that Scottie is going to answer the call every single day, and his bad days are going to be 70s, and you're going to have to find a way to go out and out execute him. And when we have golf courses that get difficult, firm, that's when he's at more of an advantage. And that's where a week like this, on the weekend, where I felt like, these were scoring conditions, Scottie Scheffler said, hey, guess what? I'm just going to be the best putter in the field this week. So good luck.
How about that? I mean, I think that, that was the one thing we talked about. I think that, let's say when we were trying to build the scenario in which Scottie Scheffler doesn't win this tournament, it was tee accuracy, which he actually, statistically, in a very technical sense, he struggled with tee accuracy this week. But I think that was a hard one to define at this course, because there was like a missed fairway that was in an area that you could still play out of, and there was a missed fairway where you were absolutely dead. And it felt like
the first days where he was kind of off, and I thought he got better every day.
But even some of those misses where you look at the stats and you say, oh, this was the fairway or the tee accuracy stat doesn't align. It's like he actually didn't leave himself in terrible spots, but he was number one in strokes gained approach, and he was number one in strokes gained putting. And the putting was the other thing we've talked about, just looking at, in seasons past, him struggling coming overseas. And this week it was not an issue at all. It was phenomenal there. Let's do some Scottie Tiger comparison stats. We inevitably have to do this. The first one I'm going to start with from the broadcast on NBC. Tiger Woods took 1,197 days after his first major title to win his fourth. Can you guess how many days Scottie took?
It was the exact same amount of days, right?
Exactly the same amount of days. How crazy is that? Kyle Porter, awesome resource on a number of different things, great writing. You should check out Normal Sport. He pulled some graphs and stats from Data Golf, and want to share a couple of these. The first is from Data Golf, the peak strokes gained metric. And Scottie, this is prior to Sunday today, so this should go up even a little higher. But to your point that you made a second ago, there's Tiger, the top of this list. It's September 2000, that historic season, and Scottie's the next on that list, above even Vijay Singh, a season which we raved about on a number of occasions, what he did in the middle of Tiger's prime. So that adds a context to what Scottie's done this year. And the other one that I thought was really interesting is the major overperformers graph, where, and the way Kyle frames it is, in non-majors. So, okay, this is, let me get this stat right. One underrated aspect of Scottie is how much better he becomes at majors. Here are his strokes gained numbers since January 1st, 2022. In the non-majors and players, he's strokes gains 2.75. In the majors and the players, 3.11. So the way Kyle frames it is he's Rory in non-majors, and he becomes Tiger at majors. I just, I know the Tiger comparisons are tough. The other one that we have from Justin Ray, this is Scottie's 10th consecutive win when holding the outright 54-hole lead on tour. And then you contextualize that against Tiger. Tiger has the longest streak, 37 consecutive times. I know it's still hard. He has a whole career ahead of him to build up this profile to stack up next to Tiger. But there are enough of these stats where, we're not doing full career, we're doing short periods of time, and the numbers really line up.
Oh, totally. And it's wild that we can compare legitimately somebody to Tiger Woods. I just didn't ever think it was going to happen. I think golf fans, I would say networks, all PGA Tour, everybody's looking for who can replace Tiger Woods, because there will never be another one. And here we are watching somebody that is bringing it every single day and has numbers to prove it. And he's every time he gets a 54-hole lead, it's night goodbye. And that's just exactly how it feels. And I was talking to Paul McGinley today about a couple different things as we were driving over the golf course, and we're kind of talking about what makes Scottie Scheffler so good. And the point I made to him was I just thought that Scottie Scheffler has better club face awareness than any other player in the world. And he went on to say that his coach back in the day, who's no longer living, that was something that they always talked about, was trying to get that club face awareness to where if I do a little bit of this or a little bit of that at the bottom, I can feel the face. And Scottie Scheffler, starting every single day, checking his grip, runs this process that is so detailed. He's not somebody that's chasing speed. He's not chasing a certain type of golf swing, a modern type of swing. He's got a coach in Randy Smith who's not going to screw him up. And he plays with creativity and feel because he knows where the face is, because he can manipulate it at the bottom in a golf swing that's fairly repeatable. He's a strong ox of a body. I think the only comparison of how great Scottie can be when his career is done is wondering, gosh, I wish this run would have started a little earlier, right? Like if he would have been in his early 20s when he got started on the PGA Tour versus going through 4 years at Texas and going through the Korn Ferry Tour. It started his clock a little later, and we know what Father Time will do in this game, but it's hard to see that Scottie Scheffler is on the back end of anything. Like we're still riding this roller coaster up. And one of the things too for the Open Championship that Paulie and I talked about, this was great information and something that I don't even think he got on the broadcast, but that Paul was talking to Phil Kenyon, of course, somebody I believe Phil's an Ireland guy, right? Phil's an Ireland guy, isn't he?
Yes, he's. Yeah, I'll check that. While
Phil Kenyon, putting coach for Scottie Scheffler, Justin Rose, Matt Fitzpatrick.
English.
It's English.
Former English professional squash player, born in Blackpool.
There you go.
Shout out Blackpool. There you go.
Scottie.
Or no, wait. Do I have this? Do I have that right? Is this a different Phil Kenyon?
I don't know.
let me correct this lie. But okay, well, I'll say this: that there is a Phil Kenyon out there that's a squash player. Phil Kenyon. Well, let's keep it moving. We're in the general. He's from the Isles, the British Isles over there.
TJ Watt going to the bank.
I don't remember the last time he had a sack in the last month of that season. And then in the playoffs, he did absolutely nothing. And then you're going to give him $41 million a year, $123 million, what, 108 guaranteed million guaranteed?
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
No superstar wants to go to Portland there, so you go, oh, well, Dame actually wants to be back here, and this is going to hurt us. It sort of brings back those vibes where Kobe Bryant was in L.A. Great basketball player, horrendous basketball team, but maybe he could sell a couple extra seats and be a star in the building. That's Dame. And also from a perspective of what Dame wants, Dame just doesn't care about championships, and that's okay. Like, he makes a lot of money. He can do that and continue to lose in Portland. Can have it both ways, I guess.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Again, I mean, I got to tell you, if I'm in that spot, I may do it again, George. I mean, I may take that shot again. Look, when he is healthy, he's the number one pick in fantasy, as good as Barkley or anybody else.
What I'll say about McCaffrey is this. If you draft him and he misses 9 games with injury, you have no one to blame but yourself.
I blame you. Just because I can.
Does.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He had talked to Phil and about Scottie at the Scottish Open heading into the week and where his putting was, kind of sitting heading into the Open Championship. And the feeling between Phil and Scottie was that he putted well at the Scottish Open, and typically he has not putted well on really slow greens. These greens were Velcro. I'm telling you, times that I thought golf balls were flying off the green on 40-foot putts, I'm like, oh my gosh, this needs to sit, and then it would just hit just Velcro at the end of the putt, molasses. Scottie felt that was such a huge difference to be able to have the saw, the feeling that he feels like he can almost push it a little bit more with that right hand, and that how much that is giving him some confidence on the greens to feel like he doesn't have to hit putts so hard. It was funny. He was laughing. He talking about the Ryder Cup. He's like, that's, these Americans, we come over here in the Ryder Cup, we narrow the fairways, and we slow the greens down, and it just pisses them off. And he's right. We like wide fairways, fast greens. It's because what we grew up on. But I thought that was all really great intel, and it just sums up, somebody like Paulie, who's an incredible player with great analysis, and what really that difference was this week. And the putter was the difference. We knew the ball striking was going to be there, but we did not know were we going to see an above average putting performance. And I don't think anybody was expecting this, a performance where he is the best putter in the field. Like, that is goodbye, see you later, auf Wiedersehen.
It's exactly what we've talked about on a number of occasions with Scottie, where given everything else that he has in his game, if he putts well below average, he's probably top 10, top 5. If he putts around average, he's either going to win by a shot or end up in a playoff. If he's the best putter in the field, you can just forget about it. And that is what we saw at Fort Rush this week. I mean, there were just no one even really scared to lead at all. I think the point you make about the body clock and the club face awareness is a really interesting one, because obviously injury is the one thing that is tough to control. You don't know how
he's a big guy, though. He's a big guy, and he's strong, and he works out, and that's a start, right?
We haven't had really any huge issues with him, other than I think the player's neck thing was the biggest one we saw, and he goes on to win that tournament. I do think the way he plays the game, your note about the grip trainer and the club face awareness and that sort of innate athleticism, where Scottie, more so than maybe anybody else on tour, to me feels like an athlete playing the game of golf, and all the sort of body language and the things you see that look all over the place. It's like, okay, freeze him at impact. And what does he look like? It's like the club face is perfect every single time. And so I guess the hope that you have, if you love the game of golf and you love greatness, is that he doesn't have any major issues that impact timing and musculature and all the things he can do, because he's so skilled, he's so disciplined, with the grip and the training, but also he's so athletic that could be the thing that slows him down long term, especially when you factor in the body clock and the way the body ages.
Well, I just think about how, when I was watching golf as a kid, how all the teachers would be trying to model kids' golf swings and amateurs' golf swings off of Tiger Woods and Adam Scott. They would pull up Adam Scott side by side, and they would put your video right next to it and try to compare and contrast. And I don't know if that is the case with Scottie Scheffler, because he does it so differently. Because think about his golf swing. I mean, his pelvis is moving towards the target. He's right eye dominant, so it's very different for a lot of people. His head is back, his pelvis is forward, and he's got so much great rotation through the ball. But I don't think many other people could do it, because the way he contorts the ground, the way he pushes forward with his left foot to not snap back out of it and have that right foot slide. I mean, what he does with the ground is phenomenal. It's the closest thing we've seen to what Greg Norman used to do with the ground. It's the best comparison. If you just took from waist high down and just watch Greg Norman and Scottie Scheffler, it's very similar how they push the ground. He's pushing that left foot forward, trying to get all that weight into the ball of his feet. Versus like in the heel and you snap back like a Patrick Reed or like a Justin Thomas, where they jump out of the way. He's doing it the most consistent way to be able to put the bat on the ball every single time.
We are now in the meme portion of the programming, Smiley, because I've got a little something from Austin, who is a social media producer for Friday Golf. We're gonna need to have a new mural, Royal Portrush. Here we go, right here. Are you able to see this? I got a good laugh out of this one. It's for those listening on podcast. It's Scottie looking very forlorn, holding the clear jug with the caption, "This is not a fulfilling life."
He might be hitting birdie putts and he might be hitting eagle putts and putting up a 17 under at the moment. But the way he did it and the way he's doing it, who he's doing it against, I think that's a great point, that the level of competition, the folks he's doing it against, they all fall apart. Scottie's going and running away with it, but no one is keeping pace, and thus it becomes a boring competition. And maybe that's not Scottie's fault.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready, folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. Know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they still need Kelsey to beat Kelsey at times. I think they will baby him again. He won't be out there for 70, 80 plays. He's going to be out there for 55 plays, somewhere in that range here to keep him healthy as the season goes on here. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Plus the backup tight end there, he has some big games as well. So I think Kelsey is still very usable, but I think what you want to be careful about is you don't want to draft the name anymore.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the three, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, trending to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We started the week, of course, with this conversation, gave our thoughts on this. I think we both agreed, that I really love what Scottie said, and I think a lot of people missed the point as to what he was saying. There were comments that Jordan Spieth made after the fourth round today that were on this topic. I just want to play these for you and just get your reactions. So let me cue this up right now.
He doesn't care to be a superstar. He's not transcending the game like Tiger did. He's not bringing it to non-golf audience necessarily. He doesn't want to go do, the stuff that, a lot of us go do corporately, anything like that. He just wants to get away from the game and separate the two, because I know that he, at one time felt it was too much, that he was taking it with him. And, whenever he made that switch, I don't know when it was, but, he has hobbies, he's always with his family. They're always doing stuff. So I think it's more so the difference in personality from any other superstar that you've seen in the modern era and maybe any sport. I don't think anybody's like him.
So, Smiley, a couple things for you there. The first is first of all, thanks to our friends at golf.com for taking that video and captioning for us so we could use it here on the show. Second, Jordan specifically saying there that the sort of shift. And Jordan's obviously a guy that knows him well, both played at Texas, have a good relationship from live in the Dallas area. The shift he makes from taking the game of golf home from him too often. And when that happened, I think that connects to what Scottie's talking about earlier in the week, where people are looking at that and seeing it as being anti-competitive or not being able to enjoy successes, when I think part of that is the formula that Scottie's giving you, saying, by shifting my mindset, whenever that happened, it allowed me to play better golf and reach the heights that I have in this game, and also compartmentalize that and come home and lead this fulfilling life as a husband and father. How did those comments by Jordan strike you?
Well, I just think that he has his priorities in order. There's there's a pyramid for Scottie Scheffler of what's the most important things to him in his life: his faith, his family, and golf would probably it's somewhere around in that order of what's important to Scottie Scheffler. And I think taking golf home with you has always been difficult for any professional golfer because you're constantly thinking about ways to improve, how you can reach higher heights. And I was always very much a forward thinker. When I got in contention or when I was close to a cut line, I always, envisioned myself of, I just want to get to there. And I think once Scottie, it's very rare to find a human being like Scottie Scheffler that can literally go from one shot to the next and not get his sights do get set on, and when he puts his head down on the pillow at night, he thinks about winning an Open Championship and what that means for him and the fame that comes with it. I legitimately think he's programmed to not care quite as much. I think what he cares about when he gets done on the 18th green is the hard work that he puts into it and just the drive and the competitive aspect that he's always had when he's played the game of golf, and the team of Ted Scott and him and just the journey that it takes to get there and having his family along for the ride. I think those moments are what he cares about, not necessarily Scottie Scheffler being printed on Sports Illustrated for Man of the Year, Athlete of the Year. Like those aren't things that he typically would care about. And I envy him for it. It's such a great quality to have.
Oh, and I think if you look at, again, all of this, if you consider all of the decisions that Scottie and his team are making as this formula for, defining success.
Probably just like Scottie and his family more so than his he probably tells them, hey, this is what we're doing.
Well, 100%. And I think it's a conscious decision he makes, right? And I think that a lot of people, I'm not accusing any specific player of being this way, but you're looking at like the totality of how can I maximize my earning potential while I'm in the prime of my life as an athlete? How much money can I make effectively? And so if you're leaving commercial opportunities on the table, if you're leaving commercial opportunities on the table, you're thinking, oh man, I could have made that much more money. Well, if by taking that distraction away, it allows you to play that much better, then you make that much more millions of dollars in the fashion that Scottie has over these past few years. So I think it's interesting in that sense. And also, I mean, it really is golf, to just expand further on the conversation we had at the beginning of the week, is that more so than any other sport, golf is a frustrating individual game where, just being competitive and results focused can really take you on a roller coaster. I mean, shoot, and this is me at my very amateur level, but like there are days where you go out, you hit it fantastic, you can't buy a putt, you're missing close, and you don't shoot a score. And there's days where you could just, hit it all over the yard and get up and down and hoop from everywhere and shoot a good score. And if you're going to define yourself on what's the score I shot or what's, did I win a trophy, that's not going to be a fun time in the game of golf. So that's why I like what Scottie's talking about in terms of process. And then just the whole family thing, like the most animated I think we saw Scottie from the moment that last putt dropped until the coverage window ended was when he's watching Bennett try to climb up the side of the 18th green to join him up there and hold the claret jug. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I think by the way, asking Bennett, who I think just recently learned to walk at the PGA Championship, to try to climb up a false front, like we got to set Bennett a little bit better up there. We just got to set him up for failure.
All right, so the one thing I want to talk to you about, which maybe be lost in context a little bit of course, we just watched him kind of dominate this event, but let's put these major championship wins in the same bucket and look at. Wait, we kind of just remember it's like, all right, at some point in all of these majors, there was like a point where it was kind of close. Maybe this Open Championship would be the exception. But he's won 4 majors by a combined 16 shots. And all of them have been walking up the 18. Like it's been storytelling from, the middle of the back nine on for the most part in all of his wins, where he's going to win major championships coming down the stretch where it's close. But the fact that he's won his first 4 majors in dominating fashion just makes you think there's so many more to come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going back and looking now because I'm trying to remember.
He won the PGA by 5. He won.
we were at the PGA and we just watched the Open. Those are both runaway wins. And then I'm going back and looking at the scoreboards from the 22 and 24 Masters.
Just think if he didn't 7-putt the 18th hole of the Masters.
It's like his first major win. He 4 jacks 18, and they make a big joke out. He still wins by 3 shots. And then 24, I was just jogging my memory, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the one where the closest players within a whiff were Ludwig and Colin, both those guys dumping in the water on 11, and it's like, okay, I guess this thing's over. We'll just see if Scottie can keep it on the rails down the stretch. That is Tiger-esque. Like, when we're talking about comparisons, just the fact that, and you hear Xander reflecting that in his comments today, that's the thing that he has that you can say what you want to say about, different eras, different players, the fear Tiger struck in his competitor's heart. When Scottie's in the lead, everybody else is looking at it and saying, oh no, not again. Like this impacts the way they think about and play the game.
Especially at a major championship. These only come around 4 times a year. These players know how important it is for their overall grand resume, and how, if it's a player chasing their first major, on how important that is to their career, winning a major championship. And now Scottie has 4, and he's going to be chasing history, of course. It's hard to really know exactly where the ceiling is, but it just feel like I wish we had more than 4 majors a year, just so we can just fast forward the tape. I just want to see where this thing goes, but that gets me so excited about what he's going to accomplish, man.
Like, put me in a time capsule and just hibernate me until Shinnecock next year.
Yeah.
Like, Scottie going for a career Grand Slam at Shinnecock is going to be so good. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
How many wins does Scottie have on the year now?
Okay, let's go back and look at his. I think this will be 4, right? Because we said 3 or the multi winners were. I'll pull it up while you because the multi winners you're talking about Sepp, Rory.
My prediction at the beginning of the year was I thought he was going to win 2 majors in 3 events. And
I said 10 wins. I think
wins. I think you said 10 wins. So if he wins one more tournament for me, I nailed that prediction. So Jackson, if you're listening, start working on that clip.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he's through 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to see a little emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
sure.
that was super cool.
The Smylie Show, only on SportsGrid.
I showed you the Heisman odds a week or 2 ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. Like, I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. Almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think Scottie's going to play Memphis? because Rory's not going to play Memphis.
Dude, if Scottie and Rory don't play Memphis,
blow it up.
What are we doing?
Blow up the playoffs if Scottie and Rory both don't play Memphis. Like, you can't have a playoff system where your two best players aren't playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that'd be a good way to force their hand. Now, I'm not sure if I'd love to know what those internal discussions are like, because if you're the tour, you either have to like sit down with those guys and understand why. Like, is it irrelevant? Do you want rest so you can play better next week? Do you not want to go to Memphis in August? Which Rory that would be top of the list.
Rory doesn't play that golf course well in Memphis. It's so hot. It doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things for him. He makes enough money as long he just has to make it to East Lake, because that's all that matters is can you win the playoff event at the end now. So he really doesn't need to play BMW unless he wants to chase the different payout levels, because guys are going to accumulate points because it's like quadruple, I think is how the points are at these things. Yeah. It's like 2,000 go to the winner versus 500. So there's a chance that he would drop and lose some money with that. But it's that's a whole maybe we dive into that next week or the week after, because we're gonna have some time to talk about the playoffs coming up. But that's my only question coming up is
the only reason to do it now is just money. Do you want to make more money? Because as long as you make it, like Rory and Scottie could not play, they could skip the BMW and make it to the Tour Championship. And if there are no starting strokes, like why would you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's the payout deal, because it's you're not getting that whole $20 million at the Tour Championship. You're getting paid out after each step of the process.
They're waiting it, but I guess I'm saying that,
Hold on, I got something for you. Are you ready for it? All right, so Scottie Scheffler has 4,800 FedEx Cup points. Rory McIlroy has 3,400, so he's kind of around. He were to play, he would need to win the 3M, the Wyndham, and is there another event before? Or is it just those two?
3M, Wyndham, and then Memphis.
Well, he could play both of those and still be 400 short of Scottie. But if he wanted to play just to get within 400, he could do that. But let me just give you at third place, my man Sepp Straka. He's just only 2,300 points behind. So even if he does win at Memphis, he's still going to be behind Scottie Scheffler in the points by 300. So why? I mean, I want Scottie Scheffler to show up in Memphis, but does he need to? If Rory's not showing up and the third place guy, even if he wins, isn't going to pass him, it's a system that, like, why would he show up?
Sepp Straka, by the way, who's won twice on tour this year, one of those at a signature event, which comes at an elevated rate. I mean, it's amazing what those two have done this year. And I mean, it's the player of the year race pretty clearly has to go to Scottie right now, but it's insane to think that like Rory won the Players and the Masters to complete a career Grand Slam and the AT&T out at an iconic venue at Pebble elevated event, and he's nowhere close. He's nowhere close.
Like, I'm sure in Rory's trophy cabinet that he has at his house, I'm sure like where like player of the year spot is in the cabinet, he was already doing the dusting of the spot of where this one was going to go after Augusta this year. And the players, he's had this insane start to the year. We won 3 times. Surely Scottie Scheffler isn't going to have a resume by July that's going to be way better. It's just, there's no way. But here we are. It's Scottie Scheffler with 2 majors on the year. I mean, that does it.
And to think entering the PGA, I picked Rory at the PGA. By the way, one and done win for me this week. Thank you very much. It wasn't a hard one to guess, but
you're probably almost at first at this point.
Cooking a little bit, but it's crazy to think we show up at Quail where Rory is like the Quail whisperer, and there's no way Rory can't win this. It's long, it's soft, and just everything that's happened since then. And that's taking nothing away from Rory McIlroy. It's just amazing the way Scottie's come on at the end of this year.
Good on us for using Scottie Scheffler in the right place this year. Both of us I use him at the PGA, and you use him at the Open.
I was getting nervous, buddy. Like I thought
you got bullets in the chamber, man. You're just ready.
I have like my ammo rack is just stocked back here. It's unbelievable.
You got a hole in your wall with Scottie Scheffler right now in the chamber for that long. Man. I mean, I can't even imagine.
I was really I'm glad it worked out, because this could have broken bad on me.
We need to revisit at the end of these one and done years to see like who we've left out, like who we didn't pick during the year that we just tried to outsmart the system. And it's like, wait, how did I go the whole year without picking like the 4th player in the world or something?
right. I think last year I think I used Xander at Eastlake. I had like 4 or 5 guys that were top 20 in the world. And I was like, oh yeah, I should have just be better about this next year.
You should have used them all in like separate deals, like first round I'm going to take Collins, second round I'm going to take Xander Schauffele, third I'm going to take Russell Henley in the 4th. I'm going to take myself.
Yeah. And then we have like you used Sam Burns 5 times this year, and and I forgot about
we honestly need to hire like a third party to keep up with all this.
We need a moderator. We need like a chat situation. Chat, tell us if we've already used this guy one and done before we pull the trigger there. Well, a tremendous win for Scottie. We have to get to the rest of the field, because there are
let's see who finished second.
Yeah, so let's separate. Let's Scottie off the leaderboard. Look at everyone else, because someone said this on Twitter today. I wish I knew who I could attribute it to, but if you took Scottie off the leaderboard, boy, would this have been a thrilling finish at Port Rush. I mean, the rest of the leaderboard was stacked and was going back and forth. We all felt like the lead was insurmountable, but I guess I hope Rory would have made it a little bit closer. It seemed to me, I think you noted this on the broadcast, like early on, he found some fairways, he had some chances, but he was just between clubs and trying to kind of figure out how to play the wind and things like that. And then it felt like as we made, as we kind of head to the last 9 holes, started kind of getting a little wayward off the tee. And at that point, it was an insurmountable task.
Yes. The way I would describe Rory's round today was at the beginning of the day, he was just too in between when he had scoring opportunities. It just was either the wrong hole location with the wrong wind. And I'm even like looking at the numbers and I'm thinking, God, what is he going to hit here?
Hey sports fans, here's a tip to keep in mind the next time you make your betting picks. According to research, home field advantage is no joke, especially in those playoffs. In the NBA and the NFL postseason, the home team typically has a 64% shot at victory. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I don't have a gaming unit, but I might get one just because of that CFL game. And I'll play Babano online and kick his ass. He could be the Ticats, and I'll be the BC Lions.
He could be the Ticats.
I'll be the Red Blacks.
Exactly.
I'll be throwing bombs. I'll be throwing bombs.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Devin Booker, do you know, in those 2 years, actually makes more in his salary than the entire Miami Marlins payroll this year, which I think is at like $62 million. That's a 72.5. I'm just doing the math really quickly. So one guy is worth more than 25, but we know how bad the Miami Marlins is. But hey, I just talk hoops.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
let's move to Bryson. A couple stats here. This one's from Justin Ray Golf on X. Closing 64 for Bryson DeChambeau. His total of 197 over the last 54 holes is the second lowest in the history of the Open. Only Henrik Stenson in 2016 was better. Wyndham Clark subsequently matched that later in the day. But, I mean, we were texting earlier. It's just insane to think about this. He finishes at 9 under, tied for 10th. If he just shoots an even par 71 in his first round, he finishes a shot off Scottie's 17 under winning score. I mean, first of all, kudos to him for that comeback, and really, so easy to just hit eject and just play polo on Friday, take a flight out and leave. But he really kind of stuck to the grind, played great those next 3 days. And then just the quotes I was mentioning earlier. This is from a Bob Herrick story on Sports Illustrated via text with Keegan Bradley. Keegan says, Bryson is going to be a very important piece to us winning the Ryder Cup. He brings so much. He brings energy, passion, but most importantly, he's one of the best players on the planet. Just thoughts on Bryson's week. I mean, what a fun roller coaster week. It begins
I think
with
after that first round, it was
playing a non-conforming ball in a practice round, and it ends with an incredible flourish at the end and a spot on the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he didn't make a birdie that first round. He looked lost out there. He was played too aggressively, didn't really have a feel of how the golf course was playing. Granted, I think Thursday was probably the most difficult day that we saw the entire week, and just everything went wrong. And then the rest of the week from Friday on, only made 3 bogeys through those 54 holes and just a bajillion birdies. And honestly, he probably left some shots out there too, because that's how well he was playing. It's good to see. I like seeing, top 10 talents like Bryson, when it doesn't go your way, to be able to fight back and make the cut. That's meaningful as a pro. And so any player that's able to walk up the 18th feeling that sense of accomplishment of that never give up, that's what any player is trying to do. And of course, Keegan's looking for that same type of attitude because, hey, guess what? Sometimes the other team is 4 up through 9 holes and you're playing good golf and you feel like you should be even or winning the match, and you're going to need a way to fight back and go win a match. And Bryson's going to be able to ignite a crowd. He's going to be able to play with passion and strength, which are all the the necessities that you need, and that Keegan probably is looking for as a player heading into this very highly anticipated Ryder Cup. The only thing I think I want to put just a period exclamation mark, look forward in the lens, is Scottie Scheffler, U.S. Open, Shinnecock, going for the Grand Slam. Wouldn't it make sense for Scottie Scheffler, I guess, of course, if he ever is going to complete the Grand Slam, most likely it's going to be on Father's Day, but just going to go ahead and put that into the air as like the guy that we look up to from a father's standpoint and how he approaches life. Wouldn't it make sense for him to be having his kid or kids running out onto the green at 18 for him to complete the Grand Slam? Doesn't that one just make sense?
It's perfect. I'd not even considered that until you just said that. How perfect would that be? I love that. Yeah, we need that to be. I mean, that is. He is inevitably going to win a U.S. Open. I feel confident in saying that. But next year, Shinnecock with, 2+-year-old Bennett navigating the slopes around those greens, perfect. Breaking news. First of all, first item breaking news, Smiley's Burger just arrived. We started the week with some bass. We ended the week with a burger. Mix some pizza in there.
It's a burger night. I want pizza so bad, but they don't have pizza here.
It's a burger night. Second update is the 2026 U.S. Open will be held from June 18th through 21st at Shinnecock Hills. Scottie Scheffler is currently age 29. His birthday is June 21st, which means that on Father's Day in 2026, Scottie Scheffler will be turning 30 years old and have the opportunity to complete a career Grand Slam. I mean, the script writes itself.
I mean, come on. We already talked about the Tiger Woods and Scottie Scheffler stat with what was the stat again? 1,000 and something days, and it's exactly the same amount of time.
It's too perfect.
It just doesn't line up like this. These are signs. So go ahead. If you want to witness a Grand Slam, if you miss Rory McIlroy at Augusta National this year, you might as well just head over to Shinny on Sunday of the U.S. Open next year, because This is just too.
It's too good.
Too obvious.
And I don't know if anyone was able to see that on YouTube, but I pulled my Shinnecock Hills pencil out here.
I didn't know what you were doing.
I wish it was a Sharpie, because if it was, I'd be writing down 2026 U.S. Open champion Scottie Scheffler. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.